and I'm actually recording that. Um, Sorry about that, guys. Welcome back to the Mentorship Support channel. This is John. Glad to be here with you guys once again. Before we get started, I want to talk about the name, just in case you've been here before and you've seen it go from what was it, college and career building, and then it went to Choice TV, and then it went to Mentorship Support. Reason being is because when I first started, I was talking about stuff with college because I just had all these conversations, in my head about, different things to talk about with college. And then I went to some other things, and then I was sitting back thinking, and I was like, you know what? This is more of a mentor channel, more of a mentor channel instead of just college, or instead of just being about a disability, or, so that's why I came up with the name that I did, and we're going to leave it at that. I got to get, someone that's excited to do a little bit of work for me on this channel, but I believe that every one of you will really enjoy this channel, because the main idea here is to bring the best out of you. That's the main idea, to also give you a good understanding to different situations of things around you that you might not see, to help you become that better person that you want to become, to help you see things that maybe you just didn't see before, to help you understand other people and other conditions. So personally, my opinion about it is this channel is going to be really good. I'm really happy about doing it. I've done other channels in the past, and I didn't really have that full motivation. Even though I'm doing videos and I'm like, yeah, I'm motivated, but I wasn't. But in this, I am. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. Before we get started, real quick, go ahead, tap on the subscribe button if you don't mind, and also give us a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. And just so you know, when you click on subscribe, you're going to see a bell on the screen somewhere. Click on that little bell, and you can set your notifications so that you are notified anytime a video has been published from the channel. The more the better. The more people that I see joining, the better, because that means there's more people out there that really are looking to learn more. And maybe you're not someone that needs motivation. Maybe you don't need that. Maybe you don't need to learn things about yourself. Maybe you're not in college at all. Maybe you're not worried about your career at all. Maybe you're happy with all that. But maybe you're here to learn about someone else. How do they do things? What is it that they do that makes it possible for them to be able to do that? So I believe that every little point that I've made here adds up to one thing, that this channel will fit for anyone, right? That's hopefully what we get. So let's get started here, and let's get to the topic here. Understanding visually impaired or blind people. Now I say visually impaired or blind because some people might take it the wrong way if they're not completely blind, and I say, that they're blind. Or so I try to make it an even straw, right? Draw the straws, make them even. So I think one of the things, and I'd love to get others in a live video, all of us just talking about it together, a panel. But I believe that one of the situations with the sighted and the visually impaired communities, let's just say we'll just stick with the sighted and the visually impaired. You got two different communities that have a different way of growing up, a different way of learning. And you get people that just don't understand each other, even as a blind person to a sighted person. Sometimes there's that situation to where we're not understanding why are they like that? Why do they do this or why do they do that? And you know what? Sometimes we're not going to get an answer on every little thing, because sometimes you just have people that it has nothing to do with them with being sighted. It's got to do with their attitude and their mindset. And so it has nothing to do with, wow, why are they that way? Is it because maybe I'm blind or because I have a disability? And it's not. Sometimes it's just because that's who they are. But interesting point to make, that's who they are, probably because that's the way they grew up, and they never grew up to learn about other people, about a different community of people. So you got to kind of be open-minded when you run into these situations with other people and you feel like they're just being completely, nasty to you, or wow, they don't like me because I'm blind. Sometimes you got to throw that out, because sometimes that's not the case at all. Me and my friend was talking about it, and I think that blind schools or if we want to intertwine the blind community with the sighted community, the only way to do that is to bring both together. Today we have the technology where there's really no reason why a blind student couldn't go to a public school. I think part of it is because of fear. People are scared to do it. Another part it's got to do with money. But if they did, it's going to save money, because all that money that's going to all these blind schools would then go to public schools. And you might have a different opinion about that, and I'd love to hear it. So if you have a different opinion, by all means, please leave it down below. And this isn't, anyone going to get mad at another person for their opinion. These are opinions. It's my opinion. I own this opinion. It's mine. You own your opinion. It's yours. So leave your comments, questions, whatever you want to say. The next thing is you know what it's like to be some of you do, to be in a blind school. And then when you graduate, it's kind of hard to adapt, because you're not sure, how do I do this? How do I do that? I don't know. I think that in time we could fix that. So let's talk about something else here real quick. Those of you that are sighted, you're wondering, you're in public or somewhere and you see some people that are visually impaired, and instead of socializing with them, you're scared. You're scared. And I'm not making this up. This is what I've been told this from other people before, because they don't know what to say. They don't know how to act. But let me tell you something. There's nothing to be scared of, because we're no better than you. We're no different than you. We're not below you. We're just like you. We just can't see as good as you. But you can talk to us on a normal level. There's nothing wrong with that. We understand. It's not about It's our eyes, okay? It's not our brain, it's our eyes, okay? Um, and yeah, you do have uh, some people that are visually impaired with other disabilities or whatever. I know some people's going to say that, but I'm talking in just terms of being visually impaired. Um, like for example, and everything that I find that I've had sighted people tell me more than once was when they was going to help me, they was like, "Well, I'm not sure. How do I do this? Do I give you my hand? Do I give you my elbow? Do I give you my shoulder? What do I do?" Just so you know, the best thing to do is offer the elbow. And if you're okay with them maybe putting their hand on your shoulder, you can say, "Hey, here's my elbow, but if you like, you can also grab my shoulder. It's up to you." Because if they're grabbing your shoulder, they're still off to the side of you, and they can still feel where you're going, left or right or whatever. And so, the elbow is normally the thing to do. And if there's anyone that might be a instructor for mobility, I'm already probably getting lectured for even saying the shoulder because they're going to say elbow every time. Elbow. But we also got to think about comfort too. If that other person that's visually impaired is okay and more comfortable holding your shoulder and you're okay with it, let them do it. Let them do it. But if not, do the elbow. Um, Another thing I find that sighted people like to say a lot, and they'll say, "Do you got your stick, your white stick?" And it's simple, you guys. It's simple. Just say cane. Do you have your cane? You don't got to add white. You don't got to say your white tip cane. You don't got to say yeah, or whatever. It's, do you have your cane? There's nothing wrong with saying that. Okay, nothing at all. Um, for those of us that have some sight, okay, and those of you that are sighted, it's okay to ask us, "Hey, can you see that?" Maybe you're at a restaurant. It's okay to say, "Can you see the menu?" It's okay. Because some people that are visually impaired, they can see it. Some cannot, like myself. So if I was with you, it'd be okay to say, "Do you need me to read the menu to you?" That's okay. Um, there's a lot of different things that, uh, can be taught. The one thing that I find very aggravating is when you're in the room with other sighted people and you're not 5 feet away. They're looking right at you. You know they are. You can see them. Well, if if you got low vision, maybe you can tell they're looking whether you can see or not. But they're 5 feet away, right? And they're whispering, "Oh yeah, I think she's blind. Yeah, she can't see." I just want to let you know something. Visually impaired, so we can hear you, and it's so disrespectful. It's very rude, disrespectful, and so unthoughtful. So unthoughtful. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Uh, Another thing that might help you if you're out with someone visually impaired and you're helping them, maybe you're having a dinner. If you're at a like a McDonald's or something like that, you don't really gotta say anything other than, "Hey, here's your fries, here's your sandwich," or whatever. If you're at like a buffet, it is okay to tell them kind of where stuff is on their plate. And you do that by the clock. You say, okay, John, your chicken is at 12 o'clock. Your potatoes are at 3 o'clock. You've got a row at 6 o'clock. And your green beans are over at 7 o'clock. No big deal. When you do that, it's okay to do that. I don't find that offensive at all. I have seen sighted people grab their hand and just touch. Here's this. Here's your chicken. And over here, and they'll put your fingers right. Here's your potatoes, and stick your fingers right in your potatoes. Don't stick my fingers in my food, okay? Yes, there are times when eating, we end up touching our food. It depends on what we're eating. Depends on what we're eating. If I know where my food is, and of course I have a little sight too, I don't need to do that. But there have been times when I've had to do that. But grabbing someone's hand and just sticking their fingers in their food for them, it's a little different. But it is okay to tell them where their food is. Really ask them. Ask. Say, hey, would you like me to tell you where your stuff is on your plate? And if they're comfortable with it, they're going to say yes. And if they're not, they're going to say no, and they're going to get messy fingers, and that's okay. And I've seen it where you're with someone sighted and they try to pick something that they think is going to be easier for you to eat. Listen, eat. Just eat. Get it. We can eat it. Just get it. We'll eat it. Right? Order, seat it, and eat it. All right? Seat it as in, sit me down. Let's seat it and let's eat it. So that's a few things. We also, we want to learn what goes through your mind as well. If you have questions, it's okay to say, hey, John, would you mind if I asked you this? If not, I understand. I didn't want to bring it up if it makes you uncomfortable. And if it does, I understand. But listen, you're not going to know unless you ask. If there's something that I need, that I want to know about you, I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you. Not in a rude way, but I'm going to ask. And if it's something that you're not comfortable with, you're going to tell me, right? You're going to say, I'd rather not talk about that. Okay, well, we'll do the same thing. We'll tell you. We don't want to talk about that. I'm going to get into this more in a video on its own, but I want to talk about something else too. I want to talk about those of us that are visually impaired / disabled that are looking to work with you, the sighted people. It is very possible for us to work with you. There are places that you probably don't even expect or would never imagine that we could work, but we can. There are jobs that almost every place that I can think of, more than likely there's going to be a job of some sort available. And I think it's time that we go to these businesses and we say, hey, let me do, let me, give me a chance. Let me show you. Tell me what your jobs are. Give those that are disabled, those of us that are visually impaired, we're no different. There's going to be jobs we can do, and there's going to be jobs that we cannot do. There's going to be jobs that sometimes we might say we can do that and it still be a risky job, but don't say it's risky if it really isn't. Don't say, well, this is a factory and you being in here and, is it really? Because if it's not, don't say that. We are human just like you. We want to work just like you. And one of my goals is really to motivate people to go for it that are visually impaired. If you're visually impaired and you've not worked for a long time because you're scared, you definitely want to be a part of this channel, because I'm going to motivate the heck out of you. I'm going to encourage the heck out of you. Because you know what? We can make millions just like anybody else. We can work just like anybody else. If a sighted person can be a millionaire, a blind person can be a millionaire, right? So anyways, I'm going to be doing a lot of not like loads of it at a time, but I'm going to be doing videos off and on about employment, about jobs, about accessibility, about different workplaces that need to maybe do this or do that, situations. I'm going to try to cover a lot of different stuff. So anyways, I want to know from you, do you have any questions? Is there anything that you want to know about the visually impaired that maybe you just don't understand or you would like to know? This is really the place to ask it, because you don't got to worry about personally hurting anybody's feelings if you ask the wrong kind of question. You're not going to hurt my feelings by asking a question. I'm just going to tell you yes or no. If it's something that I believe is something that doesn't need to be answered, or that is really not, a question that should be asked, I'll just tell you. I'll be honest with you. All right. Those of you that are disabled, that are visually impaired, that do have disabilities, listen, if there's anything you want to say to the sighted community or the community that's, that doesn't have disabilities, say it. The comments are open, but please be respectful. Please don't be cursing and, no foul language and name calling and none of that. We're all adults here, and I'd like to keep it that way. But I want to give you guys the opportunity to communicate back and forth. All right. So I don't know how this is going to work. This is a new channel for me, but I'm really hoping for good things to happen. Good things to happen. I think that's going to be all for now, but we'll be doing this again. There's more stuff. I need to write down more notes and go through a list of things. I need to write down some stuff. If there's questions that you would like, or areas that you want me to speak about, leave it in the comments. You can also find my email down below in the description as well. All right. Twitter is, I don't know what's going on with it, but you can follow it. I have no idea why it's not letting me message from my phone or tweet from my phone. But definitely follow it. And that is at Choice TV 2020. I want you to follow that. And if you got questions or something you want me to talk about, you can even message me through Twitter. All righty. Listen, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, okay, you need to know something. If you are disabled or visually impaired, do not hate yourself for that. Do not feel like you're beneath anyone else, because we are all equal. We are all equal. And because sometimes people do not treat people the way that they should, that does not make you less valuable. And I'm not saying just the sighted community is rude, or just the ones that are not disabled is rude, because there are people that are rude on the other side as well. And there's no need for it. Judgment is inappropriate. Judgment is rude. Judgment is disrespectful. And we have no reason whatsoever to judge anyone. That's not our job. It's our job to live a happy and prosperous life. That's what it should be about, being happy. Go ahead and give us a like if you don't mind. Tap on that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us. Join us here. And hopefully big things happen with this channel. We'll talk to you soon.